Well, we're now about to break the law and do something completely illegal in Uzbekistan. For no apparent reason, the government decided to ban snooker and billiards halls and pool. Just overnight, one day you could play snooker perfectly legally, and people played it across the whole country, and the next day you couldn't. There's no discussion, there's no parliamentary debate.
The parliamentary debate is not possible because Parliament sits on it twice a year, the beginning of the year and the end.
Well, that's the whole point.
What happens in between concerns no one. Public discussion, I mean, what kind of public discussion you want if we don't have even the press? What a waste. God punished me for not abiding the laws of the country.
As promised, the next day we stopped off at the orphans concert, organised by Mr. Akimov. He funds 35 orphanages across the country, housing 3,500 children. Mr. Akimov himself was brought up in an orphanage, as was President Karimov. Some say this is why they are such good friends. Shahida advised me to limit my questions to Mr. Akimov to the orphans concert.
As our president said, president of country said, every man in this country had to do something good. So he's trying to do his best. He said it's not necessary to be so smart to do such simple things.
I still haven't got a clue really about the guy, but it is still fascinating to see how somebody with that much power and wealth operates in a country like this.
The call to prayer, the loudspeakers, were banned, I think, about 8 years ago. And the official reason for that was that they disturbed the neighborhood people. Whereas nobody really complained about it. This is a Muslim country. I think about 80% of the population are Muslims. And the people were really enjoying this loudspeaker call for azan and the prayer.
It's a beautiful sound.
It's a beautiful sound, and I personally like it a lot. And now you can't hear it.
The regime here has an uneasy relationship with Islam. Uzbekistan is a Muslim country, but Islamic militants are secretly battling against the current regime. The terrorist group, the Islamic Movement of Uzbekistan, the IMU, has launched numerous attacks in Uzbekistan. As a result, all mosques are closely monitored, and secret police and informers mingle with worshippers.
Now, there were a couple of guys over there who looked like government agents.
The service has already begun, but we know that at the start of every service around the whole country, at the beginning, they praise the President of Uzbekistan. It's a way for him to reinforce his power in every mosque in the country.
The Imam reads a sermon, which, like all others across the country, is based on guidelines supplied weekly by the government to ensure it doesn't include any anti-government sentiment. Government agents listen to make sure the script is followed closely.
Trying to keep an eye out for the government agents who are here. There's a few guys down there wearing sunglasses inside. I'm quite suspicious of them. We should probably stay away from asking questions about any sort of political repression and, of course, religious repression as well. Because in Uzbekistan, many thousands of men are held in jail, often without proper trials, usually without proper trials, just for being pious Muslims, for having long beards and for looking vaguely suspicious.
It would be dangerous for the Imam to discuss domestic politics, but he and these Islamic scholars were happy to talk about their travels in the West.
Here we sit and talk for hours, but in the US, when you want to grab somebody for a long conversation, people run away from you. In their culture, it's not acceptable to chat for a long time.
Well, it means they live according to the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, because he said that time is a tricky thing. If you don't use it properly, it will kill you.
So Americans are the true Muslims and not us Uzbeks.
This is the infamous Fergana Valley, home of various old and new radical Islamic groups, including the Islamic movement of Uzbekistan, who was sponsored by Osama bin Laden and fought alongside Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan.
The spiritual leader of the group is now thought to be in Pakistan and trying to get the group going again in preparation for launching more attacks. And everything we're finding in Uzbekistan is that they find a receptive audience for their message out here. I think they get a lot of support.
Juma Namangani, the founder of the IMU, was killed in Afghanistan 2 months after September the 11th. His family still live in the valley. Mr. Amir, a lawyer, agreed to take us to meet them. Anger against the government is growing in the valley because the authorities are tarring everyone with the same brush. Innocent Muslims are rounded up regularly and accused of being members of the IMU.
These arrests became so widespread that now you won't find a single family in the Fergana Valley which doesn't have a relative in jail.
Before his death, Juma Namangani was one of the most notorious Islamic militants in the world. His brother, meanwhile, runs the local sweet shop.
This is the wife of the brother, and she says that they're not allowed to talk to anyone unless they warn the police. And the representative of the police should be during this meeting.
Right. I can't imagine we're going to have a proper chat, but she's trying to give us the ice creams for free.
No, she said that it's free because we're guests here. I said, no, we want to pick. No.
So here comes the policeman. Salam alaikum. The secret police have just turned up. We're eating ice creams. Salam alaikum.
Biz BBC'den, televizyondan, Uzbekistan hakkında film alıyor.
The driver's getting worried. He's saying that he thinks we were followed the whole way here from Tashkent, which we suspected. Our human rights representative is lecturing the policeman on the state of the law, and he's sort of quoting arcane bits of law to justify our presence here, and the policeman looks completely bamboozled. He clearly hasn't got a clue. William. Simon. Dima.
Okay, we had the chief of interior for the whole Namangan region.
Who turned up very quickly.
Yeah, he was very
suspiciously quickly. And then we had security police, then we had police, then we had the water board.
No, then we had the representative of local administration who happened to live in this area.
What a coincidence!
Exactly, and he said, "Oh, do you have any problems? Do you have anything to do with the local administration?" And we said, "No, thank you very much. You can go."
You can go on your way.
And he stayed. He's still here.
As we were finally ushered in to meet the brother, there was one more surprise. Waiting for us was not his brother, but Juma's nephew, who fought alongside his uncle in Afghanistan.
What happened to his uncle after his uncle fought in Afghanistan?
He died in November 2001 in Afghanistan, I know that for sure. I saw the body.
And he is one of the few men we've met in the Fergana Valley who aren't in jail.
I believe the reason is that our esteemed president issued a decree saying that anyone who has fallen into the IMU by mistake, who hasn't killed anyone, and who is sincerely sorry and admitted he's killed, these people are to be pardoned.
I can't quite understand why his nephew isn't either in Guantanamo Bay or a Uzbek prison, quite frankly, or dead, because he's a self-admitted member of the IMU, Islamic Movement of Uzbekistan, which was headed by his uncle Jimanam Ghani, who was one of the most wanted men in the world.
The nephew's mother told me that they came to her house and told him about you guys and brought him to talk to you.
The security forces ordered the nephew
to show up to meet us. So he wasn't there just wandering around.
Very interesting.